Okay, so this is Brigador, and I've kind of been going nuts about it lately. And I'm gonna hop in and show you guys why. I think once you see it, you'll kind of understand. So, it's an early access game, which is normally a huge red flag. And I thought the same until I saw a video of it, and thought, what the hell, why not? It actually looks awesome, and it kind of reminds me a lot of what I was like when I was a kid buying games, because I'd see these games with beautiful pre-rendered graphics, with explosions going around, just lots of cool, detailed action, really detailed for the time, action, and I was kind of drawn to it, kind of like a kid smashing up his Lego castle kind of way. But anyway, if you're that kind of kid as well, or you want to become that kid, then this might be something for you. So, there's a few different types of mechs that you can play as. Honestly, there's only one which has really been a lot of fun for me to try out, and that's been the first on the list here, Loyalist Mech Turo. For the purposes of this video, and to make sure I don't die straight away, let's just kind of stick to what we know. So I've been using the drill bit cannon here, which is pretty effective. The others are kind of fun. Some of them are a little bit, honestly, useless. So I tend to avoid those. But I think as the game sort of grows and matures, they'll hopefully add more weapon choices to it or balance the ones that they already have. And I've been using this as my secondary, which overall isn't particularly powerful. However, what you're going to see is that it is very good for harassment, long-term damage, that kind of stuff. And out of all the ones here, I know that they all have their uses, but because I am a bit meat-headed about it, I just want some action. I'm just going to go for the audio kinetic pulse. It's basically this nice little blast that you can sort of deploy pretty much where you're standing. It's an area of effect thing, doesn't hurt you, of course. So anyway, let's give this a go. Go for the gardens, which is, from what I can tell, kind of the easiest one, or at least the first one. So yeah, let's hop straight into it. So immediately, I hope you can see exactly what I'm talking about with the graphics here. This thing looks amazing. I love the way it looks. I'm hoping they get some more variety into it, but I mean, they've already been working for a long time on this. I think about 5 years, so I'm not going to hold it against them. So here's one of our enemies here, which we have 3 goals up the top there. Basically, either kill 52 enemies, take out 4 leaders, that's the skull with the wreath above it, or you take out 4 space cannons, these cool little, well, not little, cool artillery pieces, which kind of buildings you just have to blow up. But anyway, enough talking, more sploding. Well, if I could aim correctly, that'd be more sploding. There we go. So you actually can get a lot of your resources from these guys. So what he actually dropped there was just some shield energy, which I could only get to a certain point before it just becomes temporary shield stuff. So yeah, here's where that secondary fire comes in handy. I was able to shoot through all those buildings without it losing effect. Now this guy, you can see the eye above him, he was an observer. If he sets off the alarm, you're kind of fucked, I guess. So don't let him set off the alarm. These guys, the enemies aren't too dumb. They'll respond to sound, all that good stuff. As you can see, yep, so you got energy stuff, you got ammo that you can pick up again, which is pretty important, because if you're not entirely smart about it, you will lose pretty much all of your ammo, and you're going to have to rely on, either stomping the ground, or, if I can catch up to these guys, or even these guys, or, holy shit, or using your audio kinetic blast, which is very awkward, especially when you're probably already hurt a fair bit if you don't actually have any ammo anymore. So anyway, this person's unlucky enough to be in my, well, way. So he gets squashed and he makes a lovely little red mist. Now, anyone who's played, I guess, a bunch of mech games... Oh, there's a leader, by the way, so we get rid of him. And there we go, that's 1 out of 4 that we need to kill. So anyway, if you've played a bunch of mech games before, some of these concepts are going to feel pretty familiar. You've got that sort of hulkier movement you need to worry about. You'll also have basically have to be concerned about how you're approaching enemies and where you're facing. So if an enemy basically gives me a nice little love tap on the arse there, it's going to do a heck of a lot more damage, about 200% more, which with enough enemies is pretty much instant death in some cases. So you always want to be making sure that if you're taking a lot of fire, it's coming from the front there. Because otherwise, they're going to have a bad time. Yet again, that secondary fire basically tearing through everything. I'm loving it. So one cool thing about the drill bit is the range. So if you know that you got some really tough enemies up ahead, you can actually just throw around downrange, and usually, because you're getting the first hit in, you're doing a solid amount of damage. Now, remember what I said about the direction that you're facing and how taking hits to the back or the side will incur extra damage for you? It works the same for your enemies as well. So if you can catch an enemy basically behind them, if you can get behind them, especially if they're a really tough enemy, it's going to be a good idea. As soon as you get a bit of a flow going here, as soon as you've got a bit of a flow going here, you can really start enjoying the game. I'll admit it was a bit tough for me to get used to at the time, and the lack of basically being able to control the mech well did make it a lot more difficult. Made it a lot easier to die. That's the thing. This game is pretty cool in the way that if you put the time into it, you start thinking about how you're approaching enemies, adjust your approach as well. So if you're willing to actually learn, you're going to get a lot more out of the game, and you're going to develop pretty well. In terms of the story for this game, by the way, I don't think it really has one. The trailers allude to something about Glorious Leader is dead. Sole Nombre must be destroyed, Sole Nombre being this place, which I'm not even sure what the setting for this is, whether it's another planet or it's an actual place. Someone might be able to tell me what's going on. Now, I just hit one of my objectives, by the way. I've killed about 50 or so enemies, which is what I wanted me to do. Now, I've got a few different options here. I can either go and try to take out these turrets, or get the last leader over there, just so I can show you guys a bit more of how the game develops after you've completed a few levels. Oh, it's the better enemies that you're going to see, all that cool stuff. I think I'm just going to go for the win now. So it'll mark the exits, and it can be either where you've hopped into the level where you've spawned, or it can be elsewhere. And yeah, the markers will tell you where to go, which, by the way, having the markers on the map there is an absolute godsend, because whilst I really like the look of it, a lot of it tends to look the same as well, which without those map markers there would actually be a problem. Because they're there though, it means that you can sort of get your bearings, you know exactly where you need to go, and it just suspends belief for a moment just so you can actually have a good time playing this game. So, you know, good on the devs for doing that. Anyway, what you're going to see here... Oh, I have foolishly not observed my surroundings, and because of that, there are some tough enemies to face here. Enemies just like you will have shield as well, which, as you can see there, an enemy with a lot more shield tends to actually drop a lot more shield recharge as well. These ammo stations are going to be fantastic as well. They have... Okay, 4-in-1. They have particularly... they're particularly good save. Whoa! There we go. That's exactly why that stomp ability is good. You're not going to want to use it as your primary attack or really be offensive with it. It's, for the most part, I found it's pretty useful when you're basically getting swamped by enemies and you want a way to take out a bunch of really close ones at once. So it's perhaps good emergency crowd control, which we may even see here. Although, yeah, looks like they're pretty good at destroying themselves. I didn't even get a shot at them. Okay, so I'm heading down to the right of the map here, so I can go ahead and take out that space cannon. I get a chance to show you guys. What you'll see is that some buildings will also have explosive damage as well, which you need to pay attention to those. You can and will get caught out of by those things if you don't be aware of your surroundings, and that's a huge part of this game. So things like fuel canisters, that kind of thing that you'd be watching out for in FPS, watch out for in this as well, and it's a lot more brutal. Now some of the leaders are a lot tougher, as you can see here. He took almost 2 direct hits from my main cannon, which the main reason I picked this thing was because it's really good at oh, here we go. Yep, there we go, that's one of them. The explosive buildings, I mean. There we go. Remember, I'm facing toward my enemy, especially when he's a tough one. I don't want him to be able to hit me on the side there. And I also don't want to give him the chance to hit me anyway, so I should be getting out of there. There we go. Now, if this is what I think it is... Whew. Okay, yeah. Yep, there we go. Okay, you couldn't really see it because it was in the concrete there, but that is an explosive building. The area of effect is basically mapped out by a white shockwave that basically punches the ground there, kind of like what you could see when I'm stamping the ground. So, I'll show you one more time. So that shockwave there is the area of effect for my stomp. Same rule applies to the buildings. They're basically going to really punish you if you're next to an exploding building, one that's particularly volatile as well. So anyway, I'm trying to keep an eye out for the enemies, because yet again it's best for you to shoot first, he says as he gets shot first by this guy. That's okay. Using our effective range, we have defeated 2 leaders at once. And we got some ammo from them as well, which is particularly good. I don't know if you can see that before, but I was starting to run out of my main ammo. And whilst the secondary fire is good at picking off long targets over an amount of time, it just doesn't have that good hit value that my primary has. There we go. So we've got our target yet again. Just to show you guys some variety, I'm going to run for the exit now. Like a little baby. Oh, yep, here we go. This thing's cool. I've seen this before. Watch this. Blam! Also has the added benefit of clearing my way to the exit. It's pretty cool. Take a moment to really appreciate the detail on this thing. It's amazing. Anyway, here's that ammo tower that we were at before. This is where we started, and as you can see, that thing's an absolute godsend. Replenishes most of my ammo. It is finite, so it'll eventually run out. Which, you know, honestly, if you can sit there and go through all the ammo that that thing can provide you, along with the ammo that you're getting from enemies and still need more, you're probably fucked anyway. So anyway, let's continue this. This might be a bad one. Let's have a bit of a look around here. Got one of those scout enemies down there. We've got people... Yep, there we go, and he's going to spot me pretty much never. This one might. Oh, fuck. Yep, this is bad. Alright. Kill him before he gives up the game. They're little hover roadsters things. Oh my god, this is bad. I am probably not going to survive this, but hey, let's see how I go. Bam! Shockwave also isn't going to kill everybody anyway. This is... oh, lordy. This is tough. Fuck. Okay. Yep, that was bad. That was really bad. So, let's just try some cool looking stuff, okay? I think the inner city looks the most amazing. I haven't tried out all of them, but out of the ones I've seen so far, this looks pretty cool. Just for the denseness of the thing, it just looks so packed, like a futuristic city would, I guess. Think like Transmetropolitan or the Dread universe. Yeah. Shut up. Okay, so those guys have been alerted. Now, I guess I could kind of run away from them and not let them attack me. It depends on how good they are at catching up. Although my big metal hooves are setting off other enemies. Ones that I can actually shoot through this and get anyway, so it's not really a huge problem. Got weak enemies here, which won't really have the greatest of times dealing with me. That's fine, I don't care about it. Now, knowing that your rounds will penetrate through something is an excellent way to get the drop on people. Just like that. There's so many little random bits and pieces around here. But again, like the amount of content they've already made for it is insane. There we go, give me some ammo. Now, I'm still kind of thinking, how does it prioritize which ammo you get? I think it goes for whichever one you have the least of. Which, depending on how you're playing anyway, will most likely be a primary ammo anyway. Unless you're coming across weak enemies. Yeah, so the space cannons have that shockwave as well. Right. That is a particularly useful feature, the fact that it highlights you when you're being spotted. Oop, like that, for example. I would not have seen him otherwise. Okay, so people are angry at me. I'm kind of ruining their nice homes. That's okay with me. In fact, you know what? Fuck the police. Bam! How do you like that? That's a bit silly. I kind of opened myself up there. Oh well. Nope, you cannot see me. Oof. I'm doing so much backtracking. This is bad. Okay. I should know better than this. But that's okay. I think it's okay at least. I'm getting a lot of kills. I might get my, I'd be able to at least show you one more level after this before it just becomes way too deadly for me. So what you heard there is going to spook you the first time. It's basically a little zappy bot. So these little guys, whilst they don't have a lot of health, you don't want them to get too close to you. Because that tends to hurt a fair bit, especially if there's a lot of them. Now you can use your Stampy Boot if you want, and try and clear something out, or even your, well, basically the Kinetic Blast there, but you kind of have to rely on a huge recharge rates. I mean, this is basically as fast as you can do the stomp there. And the blast takes a hell of a lot longer to recharge. Anyway, die. There we go. Now you can actually get rid of that ammo if you're not paying too close attention to it. Because you can actually blow up the wreckage, and that's kind of it. Your ammo goes after that. So it's something you want to watch out for. Oh, hello. You see me? I see you. Okay. So, I have close to no shield. I'm in a very hurty state. Such hurt. I'm gonna go to the exit and get the fuck out of here so I can at least show you guys one more level. So this game costs about $20 US, by the way, which Australian dollars ain't the greatest. But I've honestly felt that I've gotten more out of the $20 that I've paid for this than a few other games as of late. But that's entirely subjective. Some people may not feel that they will get too much out of this at all, which is fair enough. It's still kind of simple. There's not a huge amount of depth to it. If anything, really, it's there for the people, I guess, who really love those old-style pre-rendered graphics kind of games. Enjoy the tactics, the action. It's something that I like. So yeah. Let's see. What is a good one? Oh, the slums. There's going to be lots of people in the slums. Speaking of the people, by the way, these little civilian dudes here, they don't actually do anything. They just tend to run away or get munched up like that. Oop. I see you. Ooh, that was fun. This will be less fun though. Oh, dang! I pissed them off good. Use my shockwave to create an exit. Hopefully clear that out. I'm probably making this worse for myself by running into more people. Maybe I can take cover behind here. Who knows? This is really starting to hurt though. Oh, fuck it up. Well, if I'm going, that's it. Blam! Yep, that's, oh, come on. You don't have to stomp my corpse. He's killing his own people just to get my corpse. Okay, I can't look at this anymore. It's too sad. So, that is, Brigador. It's a lot of fun. Yet again, it is early access, which is normally a bit of a death sentence, but I mean, they've made enough of a game that's very fun already, and as long as they stick to it, which, to be honest, I'd say these guys probably will, I think there's a lot more coming. I think it is a good investment now for an even better game later. I mean, judging on what you saw there, if you found that that's the kind of thing that you want to play, and I think $20 is already worth it, buy it now. You may have come across this video by reading about Brigador and how the devs actually broke down why the game cost $20, and they actually did a particularly good breakdown as to why it cost that much. It was actually the first time I'd heard about the game, and I looked it up, and based on the advice of the developers themselves, they said this is not a plea for charity. It's possible to work this long and hard in a game and have it still turn out like crap. Looked at it, thought it doesn't actually look like crap, it doesn't play like crap either. Let's give it a go. And I'm not regretting my purchase in the slightest. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I was gonna try out another one of those going and blind games that I've got here, but it doesn't seem to like OBS, so I'm gonna have to figure something out there. So I thought I might actually talk about a game that I know a lot about, and I've played enough to sort of explain a few things about it. So about 3 hours. So I'm sure there's I'm pretty certain I'm only scratching the surface with this game. I think there's a lot more to do here. So yeah, if you've had any cool experiences with it yourself, or see anything that I could be doing better in this game, let me know. I'm figuring a lot of it out on my own, but wouldn't mind hearing stuff from you guys too. Anyway, thanks for making it this far if you have, and like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.